Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So I loaded up 200 of these Nosler ballistic tips. 50 bullets remain in there. I'll get to those later. I have a way of storing them, in which case, like this box, I believe will hold 108. Unfortunately, the little pieces of chipboard, I threw those away. One of my other videos, I took them out. I took out the ammo that was stored in it, and I replaced back like the original styrofoam that came in there, but that only allows it to hold 50, and it just takes up way too much space when the same box could hold over 100. So I'll get to that. So then I decided to get my little shelf box holder thingamajig and see what bullets in there I could use. And so in the top shelf was this little baggie, and it had all these bullets in there. And so what I found was 38 55 grainers, right? Because I weighed every one. Yeah, 54.9. So 38 of those, and only 16 of these 63 grainers. But luckily, or by coincidence or whatever, this box was also in there, and it holds 63 grainers, and I looked at them and they appear identical. So what I'll do is I'll take 4 out so that I can have 20 of those. And I like to load up, in boxes of 20 or amounts of 20, because I have so many boxes, right? And these all hold 20, so that helps me in the storage. I don't really like to just have bullets all loose and jumbled up, right? Now, okay, these aren't loaded, but once they're loaded, I don't like to have them that way. I like them in boxes. So I'll probably only load 20. Well, these are 55 grainers. I'll have to check and see. But I'm progressing a little. Got a ways to go to reach 3,000. And I'm going to do all these odd numbered ones. And then I'll finish out with those other boxes of just the 55 grain plinkers. So we'll see that in the next video, or maybe an addendum to this one. We'll see. All right, my friends, you have a good day. All right, my friends, so all those bullets that I just showed you, they all fit in these two boxes. The 63 grainers, they fit nicely in there and were basically identical. And the 55 grainers, they all fit in this one. So we'll see how many that adds up to. And now we're going to find out what's in this one. Okay, so I'm holding the camera and doing the work with the other hand. So let's cut. Okay, you saw that. Let's dump some out. Let's zoom in. Okay, soft point, right? Exposed lead soft points. Nice crimping groove. Let's see how much they weigh now. Okay, hold on. And it's already 0 to set on grains. So 65 grains. They would be listed on the box as 65 grainers. Okay, they all look the same. I will check all of them though. 65 grainers work good with the fast twist barrels, the 1 in 7 and the 1 in 9 twist barrels. So I'm gonna get set up to load some of these. All right, hold on. All right, my friends. So I laid out all those bullets. There's 101 65 grain pills. So what I'm going to do, and here's the gunpowder I'm using, Exterminator, Ramshot Exterminator. So I get my complimentary loading book, turn to right up here, 223 Remington. This thing never focuses for me. And then I look for the gunpowder right there, Ramshot Exterminator. And then on the side, this right here is the bullet weight. So I scroll down until I find 65. Okay, so there's a 65 grain. There's only one entry for a Sierra Spire Point boat tail or something. And it has a starting load of 21 grains. And you'll probably get 2,700 feet per second. And a maximum load of 23.4. So I just pick an in-between. I'll just set my powder measure for 22 grains, and if it comes out a little bit heavy, 22.1, 22.2, I'll call it good. Right, I'll be right down the middle. It's good enough for shooting holes in frying pans. So my powder measure, this part right here, this tube, it's hollow, and so I loosen this little lock nut right here, whoops, right, and then this plunger, screw that down in to reduce the cavity, and I screw it out to increase the cavity, and that will throw more or less gunpowder. So when I go like this, okay, that cavity in that tube just filled up with gunpowder. Now when I turn it back the other way, the gunpowder will pour out right there, but I have to have like this under it to catch the gunpowder. Then I put it right over there, check the weight. I get a shell casing right here. I turn this manually. That's my powder through the expander die. Then I'll take the gunpowder, if there were any in there, pour it down in there. All right, then I'll lower this, turn this manually. That's my seating die. I have to set this right here, this little bullet, kind of help guide it in. All right, help it get started. Since it's a flat base, the boat tail ones are easy, they go right in. What I got to do though is screw this out, the bullet seater, so it'll be, the cartridge overall length will be longer, and then I check it against a magazine and it doesn't fit, and I keep screwing this down, and then I keep, pushing down the bullet, just little by little, trial and error, until the cartridge case overall length fits in the magazine. And then I do that 100 times, so fill up more of these, and that's it. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I'll get back to you when I have a few more loaded. All right, my friends, you have a good day.